Click subscribe to win this Dudek t-shirt. Extra large. Once we hit 1,500 subscribers, I'll send it out to one of the subscribers.
Susan Ray, welcome to the show. I'm so glad we finally made it. It's been how many weeks now? I mean, you had a storm that went through. I went on vacation for 2 weeks, and here you're fine. So about a month? Holy smokes.
Not quite, but yeah.
So you are the founder of a nonprofit organization in our wonderful sport of paramotors. Can you tell us a little bit about that and also a little bit about yourself, please?
So Aurora PPG, we have a mission to increase the participation of women and girls in the sport through experiences, education, training, and a big focus on community and community building. But then we also have a focus on its use in overcoming past trauma. So a lot of us, me included, whose lives have just been transformed and changed through paramotoring. The focus of the scholarship program is really spreading that, and scholarships are prioritized for people that are using it for post-traumatic growth. But education, community building, experiences, all that stuff is also a huge part of the mission. So just getting all the existing women pilots together, having spaces where we can even get together online as well as in person. We go through different approaches to different problems sometimes, and even the way we might talk through those problems in a women-only space. All of these community building things are very important to us. And then even we want more female instructors. We want more female people to be continuing to train and to progress safely. So, really supporting everyone through all phases of their paramotor journey, not just, getting those first flights in, but throughout their paramotoring career, really.
Exactly. So the name of your nonprofit is
Aurora PPG.
like the Aurora Borealis?
So the Aurora Borealis would get its name from a similar place, which is Aurora was the Roman goddess of the dawn. And every morning she would fly her chariot across the sky and announce the arrival of the sun. So it's kind of this whole daily renewal, and kind of aspiring to renew ourselves every single day.
I feel you. I think every paramotor pilot out there understands when we go up there, the entire world, no matter how crazy it is, we're up there and it's the most amazing feeling in the world. All your troubles go away. It's the most freeing thing I've ever done. And I like you, want anybody and everybody that has any trauma in their life to be able to have that experience, to go up and experience the freedom of paramotoring, this freedom of flight. That's, my God, it's amazing, and how long have you been flying right now?
So I've only been flying 2.5 years, and I'm scuba, do not be in a hurry. Slow, steady progress is the key. I have friends that started training the same week as me that are now instructors. It's like, but they live in Florida, and their flying windows are a little bit different than the number of flights they get in. Everyone's learning progression is different, and everyone's,
Unless I drive far or get permission, I can only fly every once in a while. That's the problem.
Right. But
Otherwise,
it's also about managing things safely and not chasing flights when you shouldn't be.
right.
I might know a thing or two about that, like there are flights that I have that I shouldn't have had. And so, yeah, but going back to this whole renewing yourself every single day thing, I had just been reading to my husband this evening, a piece that Chris Spieler had just posted a couple days ago, where he was talking, about how being at a point in your life where you really don't want to make it to the next day. And then with paramotoring, now you're at this point where that's what you want to see so badly is the next sunrise. And it's, you know, this complete 180-degree perspective change, just even on sunrises, you know, and looking at sunrises in ways that I hate to say that only a paramotor, you know, person can really understand what each of us means with how sunrises reset until they change our focus and our perceptions on life. But
Yeah.
to
totally
make that
agree.
change from, you know, not wanting to be here to now you want the next sunrise, you want the next sunset, because you're just wanting to get out there and fly.
I know it's like there's a meaning in life now. It's like there's something more to the world than I got to get up and work, pay bills, you know, taxes. The news is crazy all the time. And now, you know, you just can't wait for the next morning. You can't wait for that golden hour in the morning and at night. You know, it just fills your heart and soul with just amazing love. God, I sound like a hippie, but it really is. It's just, it is amazing. And tell me the truth, guys out there that's listening to this live right now in the super chat. How amazing is it every time that you go up? Is it as amazing as your first day? Does it just make you feel amazing? I mean, tell us in the super chat. And JB, watch the super chat, and I want to go through what people say about this. And Susan too, when you fly, how do you feel when you fly, when you get up there and you just feel the breeze and see that sunrise or sunset, look at everybody down below and realize how tiny we are in this world, and you have the opportunity to look down and just go, oh.
Well, I mean, as long as your lines haven't gone spaghetti, you know, or I mean, yes, most flights you're like that, but not all of them are carefree. There's also, I mean, there's neuroscience behind this with just what horizon leveling and different wavelengths of sunlight. There is a whole bunch of different aspects that all go into why paramotoring does what it does, right? And then it's the whole added benefits with when you are coming from a place where you've been beat down to the point where, you know, your self-confidence is at a zero. Just being able to run into the sky, you know, forget everything you're experiencing once you're flying. Once you actually are able to do the thing of doing what we shouldn't be able to do and to run into the air, what that does with starting to rebuild your confidence, all of those pieces are just as important. I've had a couple flights lately where, not to go down any religious bents, because representing the organization, we're definitely not a religious organization. I myself end up being a religious person often, but I've had a couple flights lately where just the way the sunshine has ended up on a church steeple at the most perfect timing with everything going on thought process wise. I mean, it's just like these little microseconds or even life-changing in and of themselves. And it's just, you never know what flight is going to be one of those amazing flights and which one, you know, is going to be the, oh my God, I should have listened to Scuba Steve. Why did I send it? I should have kept my feet on the ground.
Yeah, I know it is amazing, and it's not anything about, you know, religion or anything like that. It is a feeling that you just can't get as a ground dweller. Once you are a Skywalker, and this is not a Star Wars reference, but once you're up there and you are flying, you don't want to come back down. And when you come back down, every single moment you're looking at fields. Can I fly from that? You're looking over there. It's like, ooh, hay bales. I'd love to do the hay bale slalom. Your whole life is, I can't wait to get up in the air next. Am I right?
Well, and this is
So
where
right.
it breaks the cycle of all the rumination processes, all of the negative
looked at-
mental impacts of things with past life and, you know, trauma issues. Now you're constantly looking at what's the weather Thursday? What's the weather Wednesday? You know, oh, where am I going to fly? What's the weather going to be like at Purdon's on Friday night? It's going to be amazing, Sean. Get your butt up there.
I know. I hope
Friday
I'm
night
this
is
cold thing. I want to be
looking
there.
You ever had a
amazing.
flight, like Susan, you ever had a flight where you took off and everything was fine, but by the time you landed, the weather wasn't so good?
Of course.
Okay.
Because
I had one of those. I mean, I took off and everything was fine. Then I saw that everybody landed and I was the only one in the air. It was a little bumpy, but when I tried to land, I was like, whoa, now I know why they landed. Yeah, it was bad.
yeah, so I had the opposite of that the other night where I went up first. Probably shouldn't have gone up. The weather, I was convinced it was going to dissipate. Instead, it built. So then we wound up with 4 people in the air after me. And while I'm trying to haul my butt back and get back to the LZ as opposed to landing at a soccer field, like I was evaluating all my options and I'm like, the smart thing would be to just land and get a ride. But I'm like, I think I can make it back to the LZ. Well, by the time I get back to the LZ, all these other people are launching and I wasn't on comms with them at the time. But so I got on the ground as fast as I could, but now everyone else got stuck in a little bit of a gust front with a really bad storm system. And I was happy to see everyone get on the ground safely that night. Like one person was trims all the way out on a Sirocco and was paraparked. My husband had to land like full throttle.
Wow.
Like Matt, and he lands and he's like, the only reason he pulled his landing off was because all the Kylo videos of how to fly in midday crazy air, right? So I was
Yeah.
happy that I was the first on the ground, but to all the guys that followed me up, yeah, don't trust my weather analysis ever.
Yeah,
Jim?
I was wondering how, with the Aurora PPG, how many students you've, or how many people you've helped train and get into the air?
Excellent question.
So right now, we haven't gotten anybody in the air yet. We have our first person that we're trying to get in the air, that we have all the funding in place for, that now it's just scheduling, logistics, family, kids, all that stuff with, and getting her first tandem so that she knows that, like many of us, you're not convinced. All the people that say that they have a fear of heights, but they don't have that when they're paramotoring. You hear all these people say that, right? Me too. Until you get that first tandem, you don't really believe everyone. So that has been one of my huge things, is getting her in the air on a tandem so that she is convinced and then gets the fire to get training scheduled. I've got an active wait list right now. I just shut down the scholarship application for 2023 because our wait list is deeper than we have pockets to fund at the moment. And then 2024, we'll get it opened up. Right now, because we're so new, we're doing everything on a rolling basis with people are applying, we're getting a wait list going, and then as funds are available, getting people hooked up with the right school and the right fit and the right teaching style. So
So she hasn't been in the air at all. So you don't know.
correct.
So you don't know if she's going to take a tandem flight and freak out and go, take me down, take me down. I mean,
So this is what happens with almost everyone at training, is day one of training at majority of schools, they take everyone up on tandems. They hand you the brake toggles, they have you do oscillation control. They make sure, one, you're not gonna freak out. Number two, you're teachable, right?
Right.
There's a few things as a student, whether you're scholarship funded or not, you have to go through the same process that every other student has to go through of, is this sport for me? Can I do it? Is the school going to actually train them? So
Kramer
that's the,
says, where is Aurora PPG located?
so I saw that question, and we are a national organization. We are not a school. We are all about community building, spreading the awareness of the sport, getting more women and girls in the air. And then our scholarship program is for people to train at other schools. We don't actually provide training, is we're helping get people up in the air. And then it's all about, with the community building, whether it is at other people's fly-ins, at our own fly-ins, online programming, female get-togethers, all of the things that we're getting the ball rolling on that end. That part is starting to be really fun to get out there and get representation at different air shows, to be having, you know, tables at Sun and Fun, Oshkosh, every place that we can get not just men representing the sport and having, you know, some of the girls looking at it going, I don't think I'm strong enough, or I don't think I can carry a paramotor on my back. All of the people that have tried my extremely light paramotor on, I have won some women over from trikes back to foot launch, because just not even knowing they could foot launch because they hadn't found a machine that was light enough, to even the 10-year-old girls that see all these guys flying. And then I'm like, I do that too. And then they kind of, to see their eyes, you know, just totally brighten up, and they're like, oh wait, girls can do paramotors, and to get all those aviation seeds planted young. We've bitten off a lot with our mission, from, you know, growing the sport with women to, you know, getting people in the air, to community building. It's kind of the three-pronged approach.
I know, I'm sure people out there are already thinking, all right, so what kind of paramotor do you fly and what wing do you fly?
So I'm flying a Fly Products Eclipse with the Atom 80. So at the time that I bought mine, it was running at like 38 pounds dry. I think they're advertising them at like 42 pounds dry right now. I swapped my harness out recently, and then did a weight test with everything on my back, and it's still coming in the same as it was with my other harness. So I'm happy with that. I have just upgraded to flying a Spider. So the Ozone Spider 3.
What size?
Which was part of what led me to make that bad decision at the field that one night, is because I had a brand new wing and I wanted to fly that sucker.
What size Spider do you have?
I dropped down to a 22.
Wow.
So I had been, my Mojo was a 26, which I could have been on a 24, but then I've lost a considerable amount of weight.
Congratulations.
So I went from the 26, instead of going down to the 24, I jumped down to the 22. I could have been crazy and gone to the 20, but I've got plenty of time to do that. So
Absolutely.
I'm happy. I'm really happy with the 22. I flew a buddy's Spider 26 for about a month while I was waiting for mine to come in. And I'm very happy to be more heavily weighted. The
Spider
difference
3 is it's a lighter weight wing, right? It's made with thinner material, so it comes up really easy.
it is.
It's the lighter version of the Roadster 3 from Ozone.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I thought the Spider 3 was. Okay.
So
But yeah, 22 probably would keep
scholarships,
me up in the air.
what do your scholarships cover for people who are to try and fly?
At the moment, our scholarships are very purposefully covering the cost of training only. So not room and board, not meals, not travel, just what the school training tuition would be. So whether it's, you know, your 4,000 or your 2,500, it really depends on the student where they're training. And then so it's really targeted at people that they want to fly paramotors, and that additional scholarship is going to be the make or break difference that's going to allow them to be able to pursue the sport. But then it's also not giving them a hit, getting them addicted to something that they can't afford.
Beautiful.
And like making them very aware upfront the expenses and the costs associated with the sport. And then also, yeah, it's really being focused with that. And then very much, we are fans of the USPPA, and we want people to be training with USPPA rated instructors. And so we don't have it like limited to just a small network of schools. We work with people to find the school that's the best for them, whether that's the schedules, the location, timelines, course openings. There's a whole, you know, myriad of things that go into that. But then it's also PPG 3. If somebody wants to do existing female pilot that's trying to do PPG 3 class, do progression, wants to do instructor seminar, we will take scholarship applications for more than just PPG 1 and 2. And right now we are focused on foot launch, but that may change going forward.
Well, that's nice that your scholarships are out there to help people progress even further beyond the level that they're at. Gives them a greater opportunity, and those people are already invested in the sport and part of it. So that's
well, and we want to grow more women competition wise. We want to grow more women role model wise. We want more women instructors, the whole gamut. So supporting people any way we can. And like, how many people can you train with, you know, like how many PPG 3 class tuitions can you pay compared to, you know, one PPG 1 or 2? It's all about resources and influxes of money and donations, and then matching all that stuff up with scholarship applicants.
No, flying from Mango Jade up there a little ways. She wanted to know how the Aurora fly-in went.
I want to know too.
Yeah, we all do.
Well, thanks to people like Jade and Eric and Savannah that came from Wisconsin. And so we had people from Florida to Maine covering the entire East Coast. We had the Texas, South Dakota, Wisconsin, Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina. We had people come from all over the place. We ended up with 70 pilots. And this is where so much of the community building is just amazing, because there were women pilots flying near other women pilots that didn't know the other people even existed. And to get everybody together and have just so much of the network building was really fun. And then to push all these women, a bunch of us, past some of our perceived boundaries, and to do a couple things we might not have done otherwise. We did this wonderful duck drop competition where people had to fly to other sites and intentionally land out to get more ducks to bring back for this duck drop. And we split up the prizes into a male and female, which then encouraged some women to do it that wouldn't have considered doing it otherwise. So we had people, you know, flying out in the morning and evening and landing out that had never purposefully landed out before, and getting to fly back. and just the scenery and getting to fly at Jersey Shore, that was incredible. But when all is said and done, we should be over $1,500 profit wise, which isn't profit, that's money that then goes back into the organization, which for the first year, our goal was so very much just to break even. And running an event, covering your expenses, covering porta potties, covering all of the little things was really this year it was about getting people together, having fun, doing everything we could to break even. So the fact that we came out ahead with having kept the costs so low as well, we kept the pilot fee super low because we had kept the costs low. So then we in turn had some people making donations. It was great having so many people together and to get 70 pilots for year number 1 when we didn't even think
Is Savannah the
site-wise.
14-year-old that flew the ultralight like across a couple of states to get over there? Was that, or was that Oshkosh?
That was for Oshkosh.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I didn't get to meet her at Oshkosh, but I watched a bunch of her videos here
That
after
was pretty cool to see her
Oshkosh.
do
That was cool.
Was this this was your very first fly-in, right, Susan?
Yes.
So what was the most challenging thing of putting a fly-in together? What would you consider the most challenging?
The most challenging for probably everyone else was having to work with me.
I don't believe that.
I hold a pretty high standard for myself, and I was a little bit frustrated that I did not have an emergency plan in place for what happens if you get a tornado. We had some really nasty weather come through Saturday night, and all I could do was take the approach of I have to trust everyone to be an adult and for everyone to be responsible for their own camper and for everyone to make their own decisions on what they're going to do, because we had some horrible air come in, horrible storm. Thank goodness, growing up in the Midwest, I had decided where my spot was going to be, that I was going to be laying down next to the most sturdy building in a low-lying area and not be in my teardrop trailer. It's like, what am I going to do when there's actually a tornado? Not having an emergency plan in place and not already having all of my communications and action plans, in a binder ready to go.
No, I don't know. I tell you, I have never experienced tornadoes. I don't know what, especially if I was in a camper, I don't know what I would do.
Well, I mean, this is where the same thing as if you're driving down the road, are you going to find the best ditch to go lay down in away? So we're at a small private airport where there's, a lot of there might be a hangar with a really sketchy metal roof that might be ripped right off. You don't want to be too close to the wrong places. So that was fun. We did have an incident where Josh McGee may have had his hand in a prop. I may have had to call 911. That was a fun moment there.
Oh, no.
Don't want to do that again.
How's he doing?
So yeah, the good and the bad. He ended up just with stitches.
Good.
So yeah.
Was there USPPA representation there?
Yes, of course.
Good.
Don't tell me he ground started or something like that. Right?
No.
Okay,
we're-
good.
Yeah, we're not gonna get into some of that.
Things happen.
But no, it was great. Next year, if we can do it at the same location again, things will look a little bit different because, this year, seriously, it was bare bones doing things as cheap as we could because we really were just trying to break even. So, and a lot of unexpected things like, we didn't think we were gonna be able to get this one area of grass mowed down to where it was, where we could have fit a lot more campers. And we would have had a lot more people come had we known we could have fit more people. Which
you-
would have been even more interesting, because then the resources with planning for things like porta potties and all of that would have ended up being
Had you
overblown. Is that-
organized it? Had you organized something like this before? Not a fly-in, but some kind of a big event like this before?
I spent 25-year career in higher ed administration, so working everywhere from University of Minnesota to most recently Duke University. And even though I was not in event management per se, within higher ed and the budgets that we have, when it comes to an event, whether it's graduation, open house, the data analysts, the applications analysts, the computer people are even putting in time volunteering. Volunteering, using that term loosely with higher ed, because yeah, it's graduation, everyone's all hands on deck in order to pull off things like a Duke graduation. Everyone, helps out. But it's really, I'm all about making lists and being task oriented and checking off all the boxes. So Mad Sloper just asked, how come fly-ins don't have EMS on the premises? So this is where, when you compare costs with something like our first annual fly-in versus Bad Apples, Bad Apples has a little bit different price tag with pilot fees, right? But they also have a lot of different things on site, but they also have 300 pilots necessitating that. At our fly-in, we didn't have EMS on the premises, but the local EMS all knew what we had going on at the airport that weekend. Everybody, it's not that they were on call, because I mean they're EMS, but they had all been communicated with and forewarned. But whether we were going to have 30 or 50 people, I don't think we anticipated that we were going to have 70. I would think any fly-in, once you get over 100, and then it depends really on the size of the space too, and how dispersed everybody is, like how organized you get with things like having your air bosses to the degree that Bad Apples does. There's a lot of different ways to approach it.
So just curious, did you ask or did you find out what does it cost to have an EMS on premise per hour? Is there a cost that you know of that is associated with that?
So we didn't go down that road at all this year. It would really, I mean, that was not something that we even
to have like a cop somewhere for a few hours is like $120. I can't even imagine how much it would be to keep EMS out there for like most of the day. That'd be pretty expensive.
It's
Really, it's a-
usually what their overtime rate is.
Well,
Whatever
and a
their
lot
over,
of
Oh, with their overtime, yeah.
some people will contract with an event, management place that goes and supplies people that work, a lot of the big music festivals, different Onewheel festivals. You'll have things where people will go and contract out for those services. We had
being a
Oh.
nonprofit, would it be possible to find EMS volunteers that would just be there to help you out?
Depends on the different liability issues, and that's opening up a whole nother
Mm.
can of worms. And then even with anything with a nonprofit, the minute you have people volunteering with the nonprofit, there's a whole host of things that enter into play with that too, from applications, requirements, background checking, and then having all your liability stuff in play with covering those people under the organization.
Sounds pretty interesting. Now, when did you actually incorporate your nonprofit? When was that? Was it this year or last year? When did you start this?
So we incorporated in February of 2022, but we did not even announce our existence per se publicly to the community until September 1st last year. So we're just under 12 months of actually sharing with all of you guys what we were up to behind the scenes.
Gotcha. So let's say that we got some people out there that are listening to this and they want to donate to you. How would we go ahead and donate to Aurora PPG?
I would hit the aurorappg.org website and then click on the old donate in the navigation.
Okay, so aurorappg.org.
.org.
Find the donation button and donate to this amazing cause.
Nice.
Excellent. Susan Ray, man, I tell you, I am so impressed with what you're doing and your first annual fly-in over at aurorappg.org. Next year, you say that you're not going to have it at the same place. Is that correct? Or you are trying to have it the same place?
We don't know for sure yet.
Okay.
Originally, we were not going to because we didn't think it was going to be able to hold enough people. But now that we've got a couple different things there, it looks like it wouldn't limit us the way we thought. So we just got to work out a few things to make it happen.
You just gotta move it closer to Illinois.
Well, so this is part of my problem is as a national organization, at one point I was looking at moving the fly-in around throughout, one year to the next, so that the West Coast people, the Midwest people being able to move it would be helpful, but having it in a consistent location. And then just the links that so many people were willing to travel to support the organization was so ridiculous. Some of you in the chat know who you are. Like flying in from Wisconsin with fixator metal on their foot, flying commercial. Yeah, it's gonna turn out to be such an amazing place. And then also the local connections and the community there supporting us having it, the deals and the things that we can get by having the community connections. I think it might end up becoming so near and dear to our hearts to have it there, we might be afraid to move it. So
yeah, I understand. And definitely a shout out to Flying Flamingo Jade over at paramotorgirl.com. She does do a wonderful podcast on Fridays at paramotorgirl.com. I'm sorry. Wednesdays. I'm on some serious medication. I apologize for that. I don't know what my name is. I think it's Grandpa, but who knows? But yeah, Flying Flamingo Jade, definitely shout out to her. She's started off her podcast to help women to get more into the sport. You're into the sport, starting a nonprofit. You guys are doing really amazing, helping more people get into the sport and understand that, an 80cc motor is not that heavy. Guess who also flies an Atom 80? Yes, Grandpa does, because I like how light that is. It's great. I put it on my back. I'm like, oh man, I can walk around all day with this thing.
Yeah, it's so much lighter than
Oh, the fuel economy. But
Yeah,
even
the
when you
fuel's better.
take the Eclipse, even compared to, like a Maverick, you can keep whittling away at those pounds.
I'm kind of worried about next year with the fly-ins because I'd say in the last 2 years, just the amount of pilots that have trained in, 2022, 2023. So 2024 is going to have a lot more people show up for the fly-ins because it just seems like training has been going crazy and a lot more people have been showing up. It's going to be packed.
Yeah, I had a friend ask me about, how's the flying at EFD when you go? I said, it's really not that as bad as you think. There's plenty of room in the sky.
EFD is great.
I've only been to the Bad Apples, haven't been to EFD. I'm going to try to get to Endless Foot Drag this year. It's only about 5 hours away. I've already blocked it off on Paramotor Arkansas and run to the sky that students that are here during that time, we're going to take a trip to EFD 100%. We're not going to stay here this year again. I can't go another year without going to fly-ins. And it's not about the flying, right, Susan? It's not about the flying going to this. It's about connecting with other people, with other pilots, networking, because that right there is the heart and soul of what we do in this sport.
With EFD, I love so much how the community all gets involved, you know. Last year, they even, Pizza Hut even put a big Target out in their side lot for us to land in. If you landed in it, you got 10% off your pizza.
What?
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Hey,
Wow.
Susan, I was wondering about the Minimot. Have you had an opportunity to fly that? And do you know how it compares to an Atom 80 with the frame that you fly?
So if I was 50 pounds lighter, I would entertain flying that. But
You are skin and bones.
no, I am not.
The camera takes away 10 pounds.
It does, especially with my settings. The mini mot, so like right now, I wouldn't entertain test flying any other paramotor because I've don't have enough flights under my belt. So
How many flights do we have under our belt? About
128
that's a good amount of flights. And
for
this-
some people.
Is so real quick, just so I know, have you
Yeah.
done any triking at all, or has this all been foot launch?
Oh, 100% foot launch.
Foot launch and all on the same frame, right? Your
I did 2 flights on Parajet, and then I've been fly products since flight 3.
okay.
I
Now
understand your pain.
I will fly other wings now,
Mhm.
and I will test fly even, you know, a buddy's wing without fear of destroying it or something. But because my landings are a complete crapshoot and I go through hills and valleys with the quality of my landings, flying a different paramotor is not in my expense budget at the moment.
Gotcha. If you ever want to fly different machines, just come over. We have a bunch of school machines. You are more than welcome to fly different wings and different machines.
You haven't seen me land. You might not want to say that.
We have
Okay.
really nice soft grass.
Susan, what I want to know is, have you ever flown Moster 185?
No.
Oh, so you don't even know the difference as far as weight goes and how long it would take you to get in the air. Does it
Well,
take
no.
you far?
What I
with
know
Atom
is
80?
that my ankles and my knees, in order for me to be the stubborn foot launcher that I am,
Mhm.
and I refuse to fly trike person that I am, I have to fly the lightest equipment I can.
I got you.
Why
Which is-
why do you not want to fly trikes?
We're still live. We're not going to get into that.
Oh, okay. I personally like to be able to fly trikes and foot launch. I do predominantly love foot launch. That is my favorite. However, when I can bolt on a light trike to my foot launch machine and go to any of these fly-ins where you have to like trek to the other side because the wind is going the wrong way, where I can't just, you know, set up right here and go. I have to go to the other side of the field. I like to just drive myself all the way over there, and unbolt it, go fly foot launch, land over there by my trike, bolt the thing back on, boop, boop, and trike my little self right back over to my little thing across the thing. So trikes are
When-
great. You have to fly trikes to really
When
enjoy it.
when your paramotor only weighs 38 pounds, you can walk it a mile and go
Really,
fly.
you're stronger
Yeah.
than Grandpa. You are much stronger than Grandpa. I don't
Need to
like.
get you
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
wheel there, Sean.
Well,
The segue here.
I got segues,
Yeah.
but you know it.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah, I forgot you got Segway.
I got
You got the-
segues.
You got the old school one with the handle, or you got the one that goes in between your legs?
I got the 9 bots.
Okay.
Bought 4 of them so far. Probably gonna buy some more because I can buy 4 of them for the price of one wheel.
One wheel.
Yeah, what are they going for? Like $500?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I looked
I
at
seen
them and
that
the weight
after.
limit is 220. I weigh more than 220.
So do I, and I carry my motors on the back. I put about 350 on these machines, and they still work fine.
Really?
I
Yeah,
can
that's the
vouch
reason
for
I
that.
didn't buy one, because I was like, it says the weight limit is 220, so I don't know. Do you have a 9-bot S or is it just the normal?
I got two of the regular ones, and I got two of the S's. They both actually, I like the regular ones better because they hold up better. They feel more solid than the bigger ones, believe it or not.
Huh.
But
Okay.
yeah, I
Yeah.
get on there at 230 and I put my paramotor on that has, 30 pounds of gas plus whatever the paramotor weighs, plus my wing, tool around, no problem.
Nice.
Yeah. Now you're a one-wheel grandma, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
So tell us a little about that one-wheel grandma thing. That's really awesome.
So I love one wheels. Really, the one wheel community is very similar to the paramotor community, that you buy this thing, you didn't know you were going to be making, 5,000 new friends when you got into it. And then before you know it, you're, looking at the weather, trying to figure out how you're going to hit some very specific mountain bike trails on the one wheel before Saturday in order to get enough points in the underground race circuit in Virginia that ends this week.
What? Wait a minute. I got
And-
the 9-bots because it's just transportation. Sounds
So,
like
yeah, no.
wheels are more than transportation.
So within the one wheels, we have different styles of riding, different types of riding, different types of competition. And then even within the trail riders and the trail racing, we have different leagues and different rules and different point systems and a whole bunch of different things. So
What part of Virginia is that in? Because I live in Virginia. I'm just wondering.
there is an underground circuit that's a nationwide thing that has different states and different cities have circuits that are all go into this nationwide system. So Virginia just happens to have a circuit that is open still this week that closes on Saturday that I'm still chasing a few more points on. So I'm not happy with the rain this week.
So you have to get miles, or what do you have to do to win these points and stuff? It sounds really intriguing. I might have to get. I might have. Oh darn it! You're gonna get me to buy one of these damn one wheels.
You need a one wheel.
Yeah, when I
you've
bought
got-
one, I found out that they got the the one wheel reglace racing league. Excuse me, I can't talk, but
Oh,
I'll
man,
let her
you're gonna
finish.
get
She
me.
knows more about it than me.
Well, you've got
So she's
head-to-head
gonna be a one-wheel
racing.
grandma, and I'm gonna be a one-wheel grandpa. Holy crap! You're gonna.
So head-to-head racing is a whole different beast than if you're out on a trail just doing racing against time on an app, for example. Like doing a head-to-head race on a mountain bike trail on a mountain that you have to take a chairlift up on. That's when things get, crazier than flying
Have you-
paramotors.
Have you seen the float wheel?
What?
Yeah.
What?
I'm just. the
I've been
float
missing
wheel-
something apparently. This one wheel sounds really intriguing. I need more information.
You
Give me
need a
more.
full face helmet, you need body armor.
Yeah,
Just on Saturday, I was very happy that I did not have my fall alerts turned on my watch because I had a bit of an incident near Lynchburg. And I was just like, please do not contact my husband. No.
I had that when I landed my paramotor. My watch came.
Yeah.
It seems like you've taken a bad fall. Do we
Right.
need to call 911? I'm like, really?
This is why mine is off, is I don't need my watch to be telling my husband every time I landed, because that's what Gaggle's for.
yeah. My mother calls me usually, like she'll watch. I'm on Life 360 with her, so she'll call me almost like right as I land. She's like, "I saw you going from like 17 miles an hour to 0 in like 2 seconds," and I'm like, "It's lag, Mom, and I'm fine. I'm safe. I'm on the ground." It's like as soon as I land, she called me one day. I'm like, "Come on, give me a break." But I told her,
Definitely a
"It ain't
shout out
great."
to the Gaggle app people, all the people that have been working on the Gaggle app. When I first came out, it was, but now it is the premier, the only one to have if you're going to be flying a paramotor. Download Gaggle app, and it is absolutely amazing. I shout out to you guys, absolutely freaking amazing.
Yeah, they you know, the messaging system in there, if you upgrade to adventurer, I was like, there's not a badge or anything to let you know if you have a message. And they instantly was like, oh yeah, I'll have the team look at it. I know now if I got a message, it'll put a little red dot up there if you have a message. So you can message other pilots and say, hey, you know, blah, 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 I'm gonna be flying over here. You want to come or something? It's pretty cool because you can actually talk to other pilots now, which I like.
So with the fly-in, we had a gaggle group for the fly-in. We had QR codes at the fly-in where people could go directly to join the gaggle group, get the
Smart.
open air file of the no-fly zones and the spaces that were part of the pilot debriefing. People could download that, and we had the navigation for how to upload that up into their gaggle so that people that were into gaggle as much as some of us could choose to go all in and have even the other LZs for landing out for a little competition, have those in there as a route for the fly-in group. Gaggle was very helpful.
Sounds
Yeah, it's
absolutely
pretty
fun.
awesome. However, it's starting to get expensive. Wouldn't anybody who is currently signing up, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's getting very expensive. Right.
For what? For Gaggle? I signed up for the year thing. I mean, I love to support these guys. These guys are amazing. So I
Yeah,
signed up for the year thing.
I'm still on the free version. Been wanting to
Yeah.
upgrade.
I think $9 every 6 months or something like that. So
Ooh.
it's not so bad, but it is more like $20 a month now.
Well, one thing I know that they encountered was the cost of the web service space that was being consumed as more and more people were using it, and like replaying flights and some of the features that are server usage intensive. The cost just for them to break even and to not be going into the hole, they had to go and increase the price for the new people because just how much money they were spending on web server space.
What if I'm not new and I've been the free version? I guess as soon as I hit the buy version, it's still going to be the same price, I'm guessing, as everybody else.
I know when I upgraded, they said that whatever time I had left, they'd refund that back to me. So if you were already like the mid-grade tier, like Jim is, if you buy the adventurer, they'll refund you whatever amount of subscription you have left. And then you just, you know, because it's like what, 60 or 70 a year. I think it's worth it because it'll tell you weather and all kinds of flight
Oh, yeah.
sites, and you can message all the other pilots, which is nice.
Yeah,
The number
100%.
the number of times it saved my life.
Yes.
Has
Yes, with
made-
airplanes and
it-
different things that are flying through, right, Susan?
Oh, I've had a helicopter come flying through 300 feet off the ground at RLZ, like flying right through the middle of it as I was on climb out from a launch.
Wow.
And if not for gaggle, and I mean, the helicopter 300 feet off the ground right between my husband and I, and the gaggle alert is what, I mean, saved me with that one.
That has
Nice.
saved me also. I mean, 100%. It is worth every dime. I mean, I don't care if I have to pay $100 a year. It's worth every single penny because it shows you your airspace. You can talk to other pilots. If there's any other airplanes out there with ADS-B out and as part of that service, it will let you know where it is, where it's going, what altitude, way in advance before you can even possibly see it. It said that as recently I said, you got a helicopter at 700 feet. I'm like, holy crap, I'm at 700 feet, right? So I dropped down and not but 5 minutes later, brrr, there it goes. I mean, right directly where I was flying. So yes, it has been a
Nice.
lifesaver.
Yeah, that
So, like-
saved you a bad encounter right there.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
recently learned at Oshkosh how to link your flights with other pilots when you're flying with them. That was something new I found out about it. I didn't realize. So that was cool.
Well, the crop dusters around here don't seem to show up. And
Yeah, they
they're
probably
I
don't
don't
have
think
that.
they have ADSB. They
Yeah,
they
you
don't
gotta
have
be-
that.
There's still, you got to remember, there's still pilots out there that aren't required to have it as far as airplanes go.
And isn't,
I don't know
and
about
isn't,
helicopters.
and isn't the, aren't those, light sports? So they're just under
Yeah.
the light sports or the sports pilot license, which is different than your PPO. And I don't think
Mhm.
that they have to have an ADSB out, right?
You're correct, I do
Rochesters,
believe.
they'd be commercial.
I
Well,
don't
no
know.
matter what,
Mm.
we have to keep our
Well, I
head
think
on a
it's-
swivel, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like even the other night I was coming in to land at an airport and my husband had aviation radio running. I did not. But for me to be able to pull up Gaggle and to be able to be seeing even without any audio alerts from Gaggle, to know how many airplanes, are in the vicinity, where are they at? Is anybody, sitting on the ramp getting ready to take off? By the time my husband was telling me there's a guy that just, is getting ready to launch, I already knew that the guy was getting ready to launch because I was watching him on Gaggle.
Nice.
So it's like just being able to go and change our pattern coming into the airport to make sure that, because we're so slow, that he had plenty of time for us to not be in his way.
Now,
And to
does
not-
Gaggle report our location back to the other airplanes or helicopters?
No,
Going us to them.
I don't.
There's a Safe Sky integration. So say they're running ForeFlight and they have the integration turned on, they will actually see us. And you can go into Gaggle, and this is where on Gaggle, to all of you guys, if I'm flying with you, you'll see me as Onewheel Grandma. But on ForeFlight or somebody that has their Safe Sky integration turned on, I do not show up as that. I have a different call sign. If you go into your settings and you go into the integration stuff, you can change what your outbound information is that shows up in their stuff. So I just have a different call sign. We won't even say what it is because it's like, do I want every airplane pilot to know what my social media is, or for the FAA to be able to find me as easily? Not necessarily. Not that I would ever do anything wrong, but
Right. But it is nice that we finally have something that's very close to ADSB out, which other airplanes have, which is the whole thing that so you have ADSB in, right? And that's where we can see other pilots, right? ADSB out is when we broadcast where we are in our location, our altitude and speed. So we don't actually have that being paramotor pilots and ultralights. Unmanned vehicles has something similar to AD. Is it who on here knows anything about the unmanned ADSB out thing? Anybody?
I forget the name. I think I watched a video on it, but I couldn't remember the name of the technology that's now integrated in all the drones.
Right. So I think that the DJI has the ADSB out, but they can only fly up to 400 feet. So I mean,
Are
we
you
as
talking about
paramotor-
remote ID?
something like that.
Yeah,
for-
Yeah, remote
something like
ID.
that. That's
Yeah.
it.
So it's not actually ADSB out, but it's something that other pilots can see, kind of like on the ForeFlight, like you're saying, right, Susan?
Yeah, but that's only using through the Wi-Fi right now, though, through your phone, ain't it?
Yeah, it connects with your phone, and then pretty much if the FCC or whatever wants to know who's flying that drone, they can see who you are.
Well, it's not just
Okay.
FTC, it's anybody.
Well, that's true. That's why people are so mad about that remote ID stuff.
That's why I quit flying drones and RC airplanes and bought a paramotor.
Yeah, there you go.
It's all about, seeing that there's somebody out there, just like now with Gaggle, it saved me, apparently it saved Susan. I've heard other people that says, wow, if I didn't know about this Gaggle, I could have been pretty close or in the way of an airplane. So it's kind of a safety feature, I think personally, that's something that this community, especially since it's getting so big, it kind of needs. We got drones up there. We got other planes, commercial planes. We have private planes. We have light sport planes. We have ultralights flying. The sky's going to get kind of busy up there, and it's nice to have something that goes, "Hey, you got somebody coming, on your
That's
right."
what I'm worried about when Amazon starts delivering packages with drones. The sky is going to be completely full of drones. What are we going to do?
Yeah. Yeah, I used to work for UPS, and when I was working for UPS, they had the concept of their box vans with a drone inside. And I asked recently the most current guy that delivers my house. I asked him, was like, y'all integrate that yet into your trucks? And like, no, not yet. So at least not in this area, but I'm sure probably the bigger cities will probably get them.
I
They'll
think what they're
probably-
going to do is they're going to have a drop box. They're not going to take the drone and take it right to your house. It's going to
That's-
take it to
yeah.
a drop box.
That's what I'm thinking. Because right now, look at all
Yeah.
the different places you can have your packages delivered to. And it's a big,
Right.
box type of thing. So yeah, I agree. They're not going to drop it on your front porch.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's like a GPS pad or something you gotta buy or something that you can put out in your yard for it to drop your package on.
Is that something you've heard, or is that just something you think?
Yeah, that's something I've read about. Is that there's something that I think it's Amazon's wanting to do. That's how they would deliver theirs.
I hope they don't do it that way, because then the drones will be everywhere. Because if they're going to people's houses, then you got to watch out for that. I'd rather them have them go to a central location where I can say, I'm staying well away from that Amazon
Yeah.
drop location. I'm gonna fly over here. I don't like that.
Yeah.
The
I
only
hope it'd
thing
be like
that,
something like a mini airport on Gaggle. Maybe they'd put on there or something eventually in the future is what I'm thinking. That'd be nice.
I think eventually, just like your FAR 91 for general aviation, where they have to stay above 500 feet, we probably, with all these drones, might have to adhere to that in the future. I don't know for sure. I'm just guessing. I'm thinking that that's probably one of the things that we're going to be seeing in the future, hopefully the far future. But I think that's probably how we're going to stay safe, being 500 feet up, while drones are 400 feet and below eventually. But Gaggle has really stepped up as far as helping out the not only the paramotor community, but all ultralights. Anybody that doesn't have ADSB in and out, definitely would benefit having one of these things.
For me, it's the always I fly in a place with a lot of small airplane traffic. So it's like you're always looking anyway, and it's my responsibility to avoid them, right? But when you get that alert and you know where someone is and you know how the light is behind you or in front of you and that you might be hard for them to see, like it changes my behavior, because if I get the alert, I can't see the airplane yet, and I'm concerned with their ability to see me, I might start doing a slow spiral. It might cause me to decide, oh, I'm going to lose 300 feet, altitude as quick as I can, or I need to spiral this way to be more visible so that we can both avoid each other. Like, it's giving me the proactive measures and the extra time before they would be within my line of sight.
Yeah, and Gaggle gives you plenty of time. I mean, usually 5 minutes out. Plus, it'll tell you the altitude of the thing, what it is, if it's a helicopter or airplane,
Where it's-
what it is, and its call sign, the altitude, speed, direction. So, like I said, I saw it coming in at 700 feet. I'm like, crap, I'm at 700 feet. Spiral down. There it goes. I'm like, wow, that was crazy. So yeah, I mean, it is an amazing thing. And like I said, even if it's $10 a month, it's worth every freaking penny.
I agree.
Yeah. I haven't reviewed my Oshkosh flight with my paramotor on Gaggle yet, really, to see the skies. But I know that's definitely the busiest airspace I've ever flown my paramotor in. And on the way in, I think the second time or the third time, no, 2 times I flew out twice. There's kind of like a little video they want you to watch, or just basically have the NOTAMs downloaded to your phone, so you kind of understand the air traffic pattern, which is, I found out that they've been doing it for a while, and they kind of got helicopter pattern over here. They got the fixed wings are big and wide, and they shortened the paramotors route. I didn't get to actually fly the pattern. I just flew in and flew out. But we had a little ultralight biplane on the opposite side of the road as we're coming into land on the south side. And he's over here on the other side of the road biplane, and I'm just kicking my feet, waving at him. It's probably the closest I've ever been, and visually saw the plane. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I like that you don't have to keep track. Like after you land, obviously you can replay your flight, but it shows your max altitude, your max speed, your how many G's you pulled if you're doing acro. It tells you all that stuff, which is freaking awesome, I think.
Yeah, it's basically like the paramotor's world's version of ForeFlight, which is it's probably going to get caught up to that, and if not, maybe be just as good, if not better, at least
Or
for us
maybe
paramotor
integrated.
pilots. I'm hoping. Yeah,
Hopefully it's
I
just
feel like
integrated. Yeah.
yeah, hopefully they should integrate it, which would be a good thing. Maybe
Well,
not.
and
Some
that's
people might
where
not think that
having-
though.
There's a piece of software in between the two that acts as the integration.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the first time I'm hearing about that. But yeah, I'll have to look at that.
you're
Yeah.
talking about that, what was it called again?
So I get my Safe Sky and my Sky Safe mixed up all the time.
Yeah, I'm on that. And so that's good. I'm glad to see that I'm there. I made that available
Yep.
as soon as it came available. But I have yet to come across a plane on there. So
Is
It'll-
that on the paid version or is it the free version as well?
It's everybody gets it because it's so valuable and important to be
Okay. That's good.
getting as many paramotors, paragliders, as well as what was the other equipment on Gaggle? Like
Hang
anyone
gliders.
using Gaggle, you can, if you've got the integration turned on, and then if you're an airplane pilot and you have the integration turned on your side, you'll see, the paraglider wings show up.
well, that would be good for those crop dusters, because I would think that they'd have ForeFlight. Mind you, they might not.
Right.
But at least then they can see me if I can't see them.
Well, and they see what you are and how fast you're flying and a few other, details that it's interesting.
Cool. Well, I've got to go, guys. I'm planning on flying early in the morning. So
Do it.
you guys have a great evening. And remember,
too.
go to my Care PPG and sign in or subscribe to the channel, and you'll be signed up for the draw for the t-shirt.
How many subscribers do you have and how many subscribers are you looking for?
I'm looking for 300 subscribers for one t-shirt.
Okay, and how many subscribers you got right now?
1,200.
You got
And
1,200, so you're looking
12.
for 3 more hundred for a total of 1,500?
Yep.
Excellent. And
Same. I'm
all-
looking for about that.
And all 1,500 are in this thing, or just the last 300?
It'll be all 1,500.
Excellent, good, because I want a t-shirt, man. Does
Awesome.
it smell like maple syrup?
Jesus.
There you go. There you go. Wipe your armpits. Save
I know where
maple
I'm getting my new reserve from.
Excellent.
Thanks,
Well, thank you,
Jim.
Jim. Have a wonderful evening, buddy.
Thank you very
Hey,
much.
Jim.
It was a great show. You
Fly
guys have a
safe,
good
buddy.
evening.
Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
I think it's
Bye.
past my bedtime.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Susan. I appreciate you. We had a
Yeah.
good evening. Aurora PPG.
Thanks for having me back.
.org. Absolutely. Make sure you guys go
Of
to
course.
aurorapg.org. Check
Yes.
out our website. There's a donation button. Help her out. Check out her monthly. So what do you call it? Like your monthly newsletter?
It's quarterly.
Quarterly newsletter. So make sure you sign up for her new newsletter. Amazing things that she's doing with her nonprofit. Thank you so much, Susan Ray. Any questions for her before she has to leave?
No, I just want to say, Susan, thank you so much. I so appreciate you coming back on the show tonight, and you're welcome to hang out with us anytime. Monday night, just jump in the Zoomy and just hang with us, okay?
All
Yeah,
right.
Much
maybe
love.
when you get
I'm
your
so excited for what
first woman in the air, come
it
back on,
has
tell
in
us
store
about it.
for you.
Yeah, definitely.
I couldn't stop smiling you talking about it. Just this whole thing, I'm just lost for words, but God bless you. I'm just really excited for you.
Yeah, definitely keep us up to date with
Right.
everything that's going on. Come back and tell us what's been going on
Yes.
in your organization. We would love to keep up with you for sure.
Thank you,
Yes.
everybody.
Thank you,
Thank-
Susan. Have a great
Bye.
evening. That's Susan Ray, guys, over at AuroraPPG.org, a nonprofit organization to help people get scholarships, women in particular, to go learn how to fly. I guess she said with like traumatic issues or something like that. So check out AuroraPPG.org and check that out. Man, this has been another wonderful show.